Good evening. This is actually a live video, as you can see. I did a couple of recordings thinking they were live and they weren't. I'd just like to say that we will be giving some communication from the world of spirit, from loved ones, and I've never been known to do any communication work without actually praying first. And so good evening Roy. So now I will not be put off. We've only got about probably most 10 minutes because my phone always stops, but if we can quickly say a prayer together for the healing of others, and we'll say, please, dear Lord, help all those who are troubled by emotional and spiritual disorders, those who are waiting for operations and those recovering from them, those with fears and those in pain, those with disabilities and who are dependent on the care of others, and those who draw near to death, and those who have died that we entrust to you, and those who have lost loved ones and live in brokenness of the heart, those who suffer from traumas of the past, and those oppressed by evil, and those who cannot reach out to you in faith and hope, and those trapped in poverty, war and famine, all nations in strife and in distress, communities divided by prejudice and fear. We ask you, Lord, to stretch out your hand over all of us. May your Holy Spirit bring us your love and your peace. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer. Amen. There. So we've now asked for some healing for everybody. And of course we must ask for ourselves because we can. I'm going to say good evening to as many people as I can, and I will try and get around to as many as possible. My phone is asking me to wave at everybody, but please take it as read that I am waving to you. There are so many people who would like to hear from those they love, and they would like validation of the fact that we say to them that they are living on in the heavenly realms, and we can do that through mediumship and relay their messages of love and support to each one of you. But as you can imagine, there's only a finite amount of time at the best of times, and here at the moment we are constrained by quite a short space of time. I did manage to connect with 2 or 3 people in the last little video that I did, which was recorded and is also on Facebook if you care to look. But this is actually live, so I would like to say that those of you, I get somebody for you. I would like to say to Simon at this time that you are loved, that you're being watched over and helped in every way. I'd just like to say that to Simon. God bless you. Now, I see that you're watching, Joe, and lots of people. Now, many of you have lots of people on the other side, and Bobby, I would like to say to you that your mother comes close to you at this time. She knows you've been waiting for signs, for a signal from her, and she says you always were very impatient. She's doing her best. Now, as I see her, she's looking, you know, very elegant, and she has what she calls a wrap around her. I'm to tell you that, and that she is absolutely fine. I shall say that, yes, I shall tell him that, yes, I'll do. And also, Jacqueline, if you didn't get the message before, you should get it now. And your mother and father are very proud of you and wish you well, and they're helping you with various tasks that you have in hand around the house, because they're very keen on that. they were quite proud of their house, and they're glad that you're there. Tony, you're a medium yourself. I'm speaking to you, Tony. I know that you have lots of friends who actually went over too soon. This is what they're telling me. It's like a sort of chorus line over there. And they're having a grand time singing, dancing, sending love out. And they're saying that whatever colour you decide on your hair, it must not clash with your fingernails. So I'll leave you with that thought. Craig and Jane, I don't know if you're looking in, but there's a wonderful man here who passed over just a little while ago, and he's wearing orange robes, and he has a wonderful afro hairstyle, and he's giving you a blessing and saying go forward, because you need to know that you've been hesitating for some reason. He knows this, so that's for you, to give you confidence. Mary, you're very much loved by those in the world of spirit. Your guides and helpers have been working overtime, they tell me, and to say to you, and you are not to worry, that everything is going to be all right, and that's very important for you to know that. So I do see a lot of you out there who are watching me at this time, and of course, because you're who you are, I'm being absolutely crowded by so many guides and helpers, because there are so many of you who are working for good at this time and sending out your healing prayers and thoughts, and of course they are all being heard, and I'm just hopeful that I can separate some of them up and give you some good messages. Judith, particularly, your guides and helpers are very, very strong around you at this time, and you, Alan, too, and the amount of energy that is coming forth, they tell me, out of your work is just amazing. So many of you who have tuned in have these wonderful auras. Now, you may think that is poppycock, but I assure you that every living person has an aura, and your physical aura connects with your spiritual aura, and they're all absolutely glowing at this time. So all that confidence is catching for everybody, which is wonderful. Wendy, I see you're there too, watching. God bless you, and you know, of course, again, your guides and helpers are supporting you, but you've also got parents in the world of spirit, and they're cheering you on, and particularly your father, who is very proud of you, and says, of course, it's in the breeding, you know, that's what he's telling me, it's all about breeding, and he's showing me scenes from your childhood, and to say to you that he wants you to remember that, and remember who you are, and what a strong lassie you are, and there. So yes, thank you. Yes, there's also somebody called John here calling for somebody out there. I hope somebody can take him. Uncle, okay, Uncle John. He's actually saying he's Uncle John, and he wants to send his love and good wishes, and his nephew is going through it a bit, he tells me, and he wants him to know that he's looking after his interests, and that he's met his dad and his pop. I see, thank you. And his pop. So they're all there together, and rooting for you for you to get the best out of the situation. Jules, hi. I know you've had some health problems, because somebody over here is going on about it, and they're trying to do everything they can to help you. I know it doesn't sound very helpful to us down here when we hear that they're helping us, because we think, oh yes, and what you're going to do then. But I assure you that if they tell us that that they're helping us, Jules, they will be helping you. So you know, you will find that your aches and pains and everything that is problematic at the moment will ease up. And they're giving me May for a celebration, and they're telling me that the summer should see you all right. Well, that's how it's put to me, so I'll put it to you like that. And somebody wants a message. Okay, I'll try and link in there. First of all, Shana, I think that must be your name, because that's what I hear. I wouldn't be able to pronounce that ordinarily. I see, forgive me, but the first thing that came through was a large dog bounding around. So I'm hoping that you can place this dog, because it seems very happy to be able to come through as you, to give you strength at this time, because you have been feeling a little bit wobbly, and you need plenty of strength, and you can only get that kind of strength from the spirit realms and not from down here, because it's over and above what you need. So maybe you can tell me if you recognise the dog, Shana. Thank you. Because I'm sure we'd all like to know about that. I'm sure that there was somebody else that came through then. I also get people who, there's such an army of people over on the other side trying to help everybody here because of the terrible situation we're all in. And there's so many people going over to the other side so suddenly, and they all have to be looked after as they get off there. And Joanne, dear Joanne, I see that you're watching, you're looking in, and I know that, again, you're one of those that has lots and lots of guidance and helping, and you're asking. What I'm finding is, as I look across there onto the other side, and I see a bright shining host, really of angelic beings who are helping everybody, people like you, Joanne, who are doing so much good, and you don't seem to benefit yourselves either, and they're trying to help you in every way. Angie. I think what we're doing here, Angie, is telling you that you've been, of course you've been anxious, we've all been anxious in our time, but to let you know that you are not on your own. You've been feeling pretty lonely within yourself, but then they're telling me that even if you'd been in a big crowd, you would still feel like that because of the situation and the things that you've gone through. And I do see a lady over here, and she's quite substantial in her build, and she's very motherly in her attitude towards you, with a lot of love coming towards you. I can feel all these things coming through me to you, and really I'm to tell you that you're to keep looking forward and not to keep looking back, because you keep looking at the past, Andrew. There you are. So you did say you wanted a message. You didn't want telling off, but don't take it as a telling off. That it's just how she is putting this to you, that you must not keep looking back at the past, and you've got to look forward. Sheila, thank you. Well, I have a couple here who are in spirit, and I wasn't sure whether they would be your grandparents or your parents, because there was this very sort of motherly feeling, but I did feel it was one removed. So I will say that they're your grandparents who are close at this time, and they're a bit worried about your lifestyle, whatever that means. I know that everybody over there is concerned for their loved ones down here at the moment, but they are concerned for you and trying to sort of keep your head above water, as it were. There you are. So they've got a good sense of humour as well. So please take that. And yes, and there are animals over there as well that they're looking after for you. They're saying you're not coming over there for a very long time to come. So whatever little niggly worries you've been having, put those away from you, because you know that they don't want you over there for a very long time. There you are. So that's for you, Sheila. Michael. I'm so sorry to hear that for you and Annika, and the family. But of course, I have to tell you that that she would be well. I'll have a look and see if I can see her amongst the throng, because there are so many people. There are so many people over there, all sort of trying to cram in and speak to everybody here and give you that upliftment. Now I have a lady who comes through, and you said that that she went from cancer, and what I'm feeling is that wherever the cancer was, the last thing that she felt, this lovely lady, Michael, was that very dry, very, very dry throat and mouth, and she would have been finding it very hard to swallow, and I think just a little water would be dabbed on her lips, and she felt some water being dabbed, and she was very grateful for that, and very grateful for the care and love that was shown to her. And she says she knows that she was old, but she still didn't expect to die. She thought she would hang on and for quite some time to come. So a very sweet lady, and I'm sorry, what she's showing me is, Michael, that she's young, upright, her hair's lovely, down to the shoulder here, and as she got older she would put it back, but she's showing me herself as a young woman. There should be photographs of her looking like this, very healthy, young. She was a very strong person, very strong personality, and that comes across now. And she's showing me herself in some very lovely colourful clothes, and very strong, a very strong woman indeed. And she wants to just send her love. If you can just get that across to your lovely partner, to let her know that her mother is fine, and she's looking very young and very smart and healthy again. I'm not able to catch everybody's words here, because unfortunately I tend to do what I'm always telling people they shouldn't do. Mediums should not shut their eyes, but sometimes you just have to shut your eyes to see people, if you can make sense of that. And Tim, again, because there are so many mediums out there looking at me, there are so many guides and helpers over here who want to speak to their people down here. So their mediums are down here. I've really almost got to give a sort of a blanket message to all of you to say that there's so much love coming. You know, this is really difficult to separate everybody out at this time. What everybody wants to know is if mediums can tell when this is going to stop, when this coronavirus outbreak is going to level out. And I'm afraid all I can do is tell you what I'm prompted to tell you, is that it all will be well. There are people dealing with antiviral drugs at the moment, and what them across over there are saying is that this should be a few weeks hence. They're looking at May for some kind of resolution to this problem. So there you are. If that happens, remember to thank me. It isn't me. I'm only repeating what I'm told, but I know that we all want to know. You know what's going to happen. Oh, Andy, Erev Tov. Gamlacha, which is also what Jesus would have said, which is you also to a man, because Hebrew is like French, male and female, masculine, feminine, whatever. Now, I have so many animals over here as well. I'm sure that not everybody that is watching could have an animal that's in heaven, but that's what it seems like to me. So I hope that most of you can take this bevy. I've got a whole load of animals here, including some that there are hens here. I've got half a dozen hens that were killed last night, I think. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So please, if somebody knows someone with these birds that were taken over to spirit yesterday at some time, it's only the last sort of 24, 48 hours, I think, and they just want to let their companion know that they're all right now. So somebody, and Julie, fed up already of being at home. Yes, well, we have to look on the bright side of that. Here we are. I've sort of created this little space here. You can all create a little space for yourselves where you could be quiet and perhaps read a book, read something nice. Ricardo, I've got some important thing to ask you. I can take a chance now. Answer is no stress. My mum and dad, yeah. Tell me the feeling I have that they are at the same place, probably. I can't see what you're saying, and if I ding this, it might get temperature. Ah, yes. Yes. The interesting thing is about that although Jesus himself said there's no giving or taking in marriage on the other side in heaven, but nevertheless, those who have loved each other down here and would be together down here are always together on the other side of life, because love is the key, and heaven, if you like, is a place of love and light, and that really means love. And if people have a special love for each other, spiritual love, then that love continues, and they are together in the world of spirit, in heaven, if you like, in that summer land. And I know, because so many people have come through over the years to let me know that they are together. And the love that people have for each other actually is lasting, and that means that their love for you is lasting as well. So I know, Ricard, that they will be in the same place and they will be together. Now, people who have been estranged in their life, who have actually split up, I know, have actually, where there has been an underlying love, they have also connected up again once they're both on the other side, and have that spiritual love, that enjoyment of spiritual love between two people, two beings there. So I hope that makes you feel better, Ricard, and that's the truth anyway. I only tell the truth. Loads on the M25. I don't know what that's about, but anyway, I think that's already both strong body. Yes, yeah, love is everything, you see. It's the most powerful of feelings, and it triumphs over everything in the end. Now then, I think that nobody else seems to be too desperate, which is just as well. There was somebody else as well, yes. I have an Uncle Pete. Uncle Pete. He's saying that that he didn't want to go either. I don't know who this is for. But somebody who's watching will know who Uncle Pete is, because they will have missed him. And he was a good chap, and he had lots of health problems before he went. He had lots of people looking after him and everything, but he said with all that they couldn't keep me down there. And he said, anyway, I'm all right up here because I don't have to use a wheelchair, and I can run about and do everything I used to do when I was young and healthy. So here I am, and he's kicking a ball around and flexing his muscles and everything. He's a real joker. So I think that even when he was stuck in his wheelchair, he was a joker as well. He's talking about all the adaptations he had done that he had to leave behind, but he says, I don't need them anymore. So if somebody there has lost their Uncle Pete, to know that he's perfectly all right, please. We've got somebody who's talking about holding her friend and others in our prayers because they're fighting the virus and a friend is on a ventilator. Well, I think to finish our little communication session and service here, because that's what it is that we should all, again, those who didn't know that we had healing when we first started, of course, that we can perhaps put our thoughts together and blend our thoughts and send our prayers out for all those who are sick and suffering with this virus at the moment. We know that everybody has difficulties and lots of people have health problems, but at the moment, dear Lord, we're fighting this virus, and we ask you to look after us and our friends and all those who are sick with it, and especially those who are fighting to live, even though they are in a life-threatening condition at the moment. We ask you, dear Lord, especially for Julie Brett's friend who is on a ventilator. Please look after her and help her to recover and get through this. Thank you. Amen. There. So we've said a quick prayer, and that's all you have to do. Oh, and Michael was in bed as well. I think what we'll have to do, our prayers will be heard. Believe me, all our prayers are heard. We all have loved ones who are in the world of spirit, and those loved ones are close to us at times like this, even if we don't know they're there or we haven't that awareness. Please believe me when I say they are. And if you say your prayers, they hear the prayers and they take them on. So they go on and up and up and up until they actually reach the Almighty. And, really, your prayers will be acted upon. We have to say, like the Lord told us, we have to say, thy will, not my will. And it's thy will be done. But we can just trust that all will be well in the end. And I really feel that if I can only show you a little bit about how beautiful that other world is, you wouldn't be quite so worried. And to know that your friends on the other side and loved ones are all trying to help you at this time. And nobody wants people to go over before their time. No one wants that. And, I'm sure that we will all get through this. And you've just got to have confidence and got to know that your prayers are heard. And you have so many wonderful people, friends and loved ones on the other side helping you. It doesn't matter what condition you're in, you can just ask for help. And I know that Michael will be all right. He will be all right. And you can tell him only the good die young. But seriously, I know how drastic it is. And it doesn't matter our age or our gender or anything. We are all entitled to our life, and I know that God hears our prayers. So I'm so pleased that I was able to say a few words and to get a few words from them over there to us down here, because I just want you to know that you are not alone. It doesn't matter, self-isolation, that comes to nothing if you know that people are with you, and you are being watched over, and you will be all right. I know that we will be all right. Oh, Oslam, yes, I needed to tell you. Bra came in When I was just sitting here quietly, worrying about whether my phone would last long enough, I got Brock came in and gave love to you and everybody, and to his family. So that I needed to tell you, Oslam. That's marvellous. Wendy, good night to you. And as you know, all your guides are hanging around you tonight. And Julie, children, yes, of course. All of us who've got children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, are all praying hard for all of them to be all right, and especially if they get sick, that they shall recover well. But the other thing is, like I said, plenty of prayers, and the prayers will be answered. And me, for instance, I came through, I had Asian flu, I had Hong Kong flu. I'm hoping I won't get this one, because apparently if you're very old, you've had it more or less. But nevertheless, you know, those of us who've got work to do have a responsibility while we can do it. So that's why I'm pleased to be able to talk with you at this time and try and pass on to you some of my own confidence about the outcome of all of this. And just to say to you, you know, just keep praying. And Alex, hope you're staying safe. Well, you know, yes, as safe as anybody else, actually. And at least we all live in the 21st century. We've got these wonderful scientists, and you know that every movement that science has ever done has been prompted by those on the other side, because they already know about everything. We just have to learn bit by bit by bit. We're sort of in the nursery, if you like, and in heaven they already know everything. So here we are, hoping for the best. But I know that there are people working away almost behind the scenes from the heavenly realms, helping those scientists along the way, giving them a little prompt here and there. So there. Well, I hope that... oh, thank you, Diana. Thank you so much. Well, you know, one has to be philosophical. But I have trust, and I know that, you know, all my guides and helpers are around, and I do what I can while I can. And what we have to do is live in the present. We have to remember the past, live in the present, and trust in the future there. So I'll say God bless you all. I hope that I've helped a little bit. It's like I'm trying to give you a transfusion of spirit, so that you will feel the wonderful love from the world of spirit to you, and to know that your loved ones are there, and even if they were old and decrepit and ill when they passed over, that is not what they're like now. They're all 100%, and you know, better than they ever were. And they can do more for you now from the spirit than they could even when they were down here. And this is what Jesus himself meant. He said he had to pass away so that he could go and come back as the Comforter. He could come back as the Holy Spirit. While he was here as a man, there was only limited things that he could do. Over there, he could do everything. So that's really what it's the situation, that when your loved ones pass over to that heavenly realm, they can actually help you so much more than when they were down here. So I say yes, good night, John. You want to go to work back in. Sometimes, you know, during the war, showing my age, during the war, they used to say they also serve who only stand and wait. Now, it's best sometimes for us not to go and mix with other people, not to go and chance spreading the virus. It's better for us to stay indoors and not to go and help, because actually it would not be helping. There you are. So you'll have to just do some praying, do some reading, do some watching of television, do some running on the spot if you can. And, you know, I just hope that you will feel a little bit better and a bit more cheerful after this little conversation. And thank you so much as well for tuning in and cheering me up no end. And where's my glass of water? I should say L'chaim, which is to life. And I say God bless you and have a very good night's sleep. And with all that healing that's gone on, you should feel a lot better. And when you get to bed, you should have a good rest there. I say God bless you for now. God bless. Not very good at this.